Formed in Glasgow, Stone the Crows came to prominence in 1969. Featuring the dynamic, earthy vocal style of Maggie Bell and the outstanding guitar playing of Alex Harvey's brother Leslie, they were signed by Led Zeppelin's manager, Peter Grant. The band produced 4 albums and were renowned for their powerful blues-based rock performances. I recently met Maggie Bell at the Riverside Studios in West London to look back at her career. Firstly, when did she realise that she had a musical talent?
Very young. I think it was through the Salvation Army, and they didn't sort of push religion down your throat. It was more or less children from a deprived area where I came from. It was all music, and it was they taught me a lot about music, singing, playing the tambourine. I think that was at the early age, and I thought, I like this, I'm good at this.
And what about your first musical influences? Who inspired you to sing?
Well, I had an uncle who was in the Merchant Navy, and he used to bring back long playing records in those days. Sarah Vaughan, Billy Eckstein, all different kind of people from that era.
Now you started off singing in a dance band, didn't you?
Yeah. The Locarno, it was the Locarno circuit. And I think I was 18 then, and it was a 32-piece orchestra. My mother put the advert was in the paper, and my mother answered the advert, and I never thought I would get it, but I did. And basically that was the beginning of it all. I never looked back really after that.
Now, how did you first meet guitarist Les Harvey?
Well, Alex Harvey, who was Leslie's brother, he had a band, and they used to play in a place called the Locarno in Glasgow. And Alex was the first sort of blues band that I'd ever got up on stage and sung with. He was the first person that ever gave me any money for singing, really. And he said, look, we're a bit rough and ready, this band. They're a bit too old for you to sing with us. He said that my young brother's got a band called the Canning Park Ramblers. And he set up a meet with me to go and play with Leslie, and that's how I got to know the Harvey family.
So how long did it take you to put that first lineup of Stone the Crows together?
I think it was, I hope I get this right. Well, we'd already, the only person we didn't have was a drummer, and that's where Colin came in. Colin was living in London. But we'd all played it in a place called the Burns House in Glasgow, in a pub, for about 2 years. So that was the beginnings of Stone the Crows, like the keyboard player, the bass player, Leslie the guitar player, myself singing. And the other drummer that we had was a Scottish drummer. He never made it to London. It's a big step for a lot of people coming to London, even in those days, huh? And he'd come in from Glasgow, whatever. And then through Alex Harvey again, Alex was working in hair. There's a guy called Laurie was playing bass in the hair band with Alex Harvey, and Colin Allen was their lodger. Well, they shared an apartment in Kensington. And Laurie said, Alex Harvey's brother, Leslie's got a band together, and they're looking for a drummer, and that's how we got to, I think that's the right story, it's so long ago, but that's how we got together with Colin. And Colin's been with me ever since. He's one of my oldest friends. We were signed up to Polydor in those days, and there's a good bunch of people at Polydor, and they said, go and rehearse, and we were very well rehearsed. Write your own songs, which we did. Colin did a lot of writing, and we all put little input of writing abilities, whatever. And then we went into the studio and we recorded. I mean, we were recording, say, downstairs in a studio in London, and upstairs would be Yes to starting off their first album. You know, it was all that sort of era of people. And everybody was writing their own songs those days, but we'd never written before that, before Stone the Crows.
Now, how did you come across Led Zeppelin's manager, Peter Grant?
Well, Leslie got a job. His cousin played with a group called Cartoon that was going to America, the big American tour. And the guitar player couldn't make it, he fell ill. So Leslie's cousin said, we've got a tour of America. Leslie'd never been to America before. Could you come with Cartoon and play? So that's how Leslie met Mark London, who was the manager of Cartoon. And Mark London was in cahoots with Peter Grant along the way for different ventures and stuff. So when Leslie did the tour of Cartoon in America and come back, and Peter Grant and Mark London said, well, we'd like to get a band together with you, you know, we'd like to put you with somebody, you're a good guitar player, you're a great guitar player. He said, well, I've got a band and a girlfriend up in Scotland, that's my band, I'd like to stick with them because I think something's going to happen with them. And they liked Leslie, so that's when they came up to Scotland and seen us lot and took us away from the pub.
Now, apart from giving you the name, Stone the Crows, Grant's input was fairly limited, wasn't it?
Well, he was too busy with Led Zeppelin in those days, really. They were just starting off as well.
Do you think he knew what to do with you as a band?
No. Oh, yeah, well, the band. I thought you were going to speak to me about my later life. He didn't know what you had me, but he didn't know what to do with me. No, I mean, Mark London was, he dealt with the band more than Peter Grant, because Peter Grant was on the road in America all the time with Led Zeppelin. But I suppose Peter's name gave us a lot of weight, really. But Mark London did a lot of the work at the beginning with us. He wrote To Sell With Love as well, Mark London. He's a songwriter, yeah. And he married Lulu's manager, Mary Marple. So it's all like, yeah. The plot thickens.
And how did you get on with Peter?
Fine. I mean, I was friends with Peter Grant until his death, until he died. Even though I lived in Holland, we kept in touch.
Do you think he was one of the great managers?
I would say so. But at the end of the day, what I liked about Peter Grant was, I mean, I've seen lots of videos even in Madison Square Garden where he's running after a guy. Some guy, you know, has done something bad against his band, or bands. He didn't like that. He was all for the people in the band, really. And that's what I liked about him.
I mean, do you think his reputation was slightly overblown, this sort of larger-than-life character?
He was a pussycat, really. I mean, he had two lovely kids. He had a lovely wife. But in that business, when you're dealing especially with Americans, you've got to be hard, you know. Really, it's no easy sort of ball game, you know. You've got to be, you got to tell them what you want, otherwise they'll just trample over you. And especially with a band that became so big as Led Zeppelin, he was there to protect the band and their families.
Now, your first album, Stone the Crows on Polydor, was released in 1970. You shared vocal duties with Jimmy Dewar.
Yes.
Now, was that a good relationship?
Yes, it was Jimmy. I'd known Jimmy from the Glasgow days. And he was one of the founder members of Stone the Crows. And it was a good partnership. He was a great singer, he was a great talent, Jimmy Dewar, who's no longer with us, by the way. He died last year. But for all bands, you've heard the story before, I'm sure, many times. You know, you just get, you think you want to change, you want to move, you want to change musicians to push the band even further, musically. It's always down to the music, believe me.
So how was the album received?
I think Stone the Crows' first album, okay, but we were looking forward to making the second album, because don't forget, this was our first attempt of writing songs, huh? I think it was one of the best albums we'd ever done. I think the first band was the best band, really.
Now, how helpful was John Peel in that early period of that first album?
He liked us. He just thought, we did a lot with John Peel. I mean, more than a lot of bands in those days, you know. We did all live concerts for John Peel. He even introduced us at a couple of festivals. He liked us, and that was, for us, that was a great thing. That was a good thing. But I mean, it just wasn't word of mouth from John Peel about Stone the Crows. We could go out there. I mean, don't forget, we were doing BBC live recordings from the studios with a live audience, and we used to do it very, very well.
What makes a good female vocalist, do you think? I mean, is it the timbre of the voice, the accuracy? What do you think is important in a good woman's vocal?
You got it. Well, for me, it's always came from my heart. It doesn't come from here. It's got to come from somewhere down there. And if you're sincere singing a song, it'll come across, and people feel that.
At this point in time, you were playing with quite a few different artists. I mean, you were supporting quite a lot of big names, weren't you?
Yeah, Mountain, Joe Cocker, of course. Was it Three Dog Night? We played with a lot of different people. There's a lot of bands.
You even supported The Who?
Yes, we did. Yeah. We did The Who. Yeah.
I mean, the tragedy of Les Harvey's death by electrocution on stage was such an avoidable accident. I mean, how did it happen? What was the problem?
Well, we hadn't played any music. Leslie was just telling the audience, which was doctors and nurses, it was their annual concert. And he said to them, bear with us, we're late in starting, but we've got a technical hitch. And that's when it happened. He touched the microphone and the guitar, and that's when it happened. Because we were all waiting at the side, Colin and I and Stevie Thompson, we were waiting at the side to go on stage, but there was something technically wrong. And it was as quick as that, it was as fast as that.
Would you say that his death brutally halted the momentum that was driving...
Yeah, because we'd started it all together, we'd written songs, we'd toured with each other. It was a journey, and all of a sudden, it ceased to happen. And we took a a long look at it all, Colin and I, and the boy said to me, do you want to continue? And I said, well, we started this off, so I've got to finish this. Whatever is at the end, we've got to continue this. And we started looking for guitar players. First of all, we thought it was Peter Green was going to join the band. He came out of hiding. And he, up to the last day before we did Wheelie Festival, the day before Wheelie Festival, he let us down, said he couldn't go on stage and do it. And Steve Howe, and John Anderson was good friends of ours from Yes, socially good friends as well. And Steve stepped in the day before we did the Wheelie Festival. He did a great job. And then, of course, after that, we get Jimmy McCulloch joined the band.
Now, how highly did